Your spirit has been calling for answers. You're not imagining it. Welcome to Amelia Spiritual Show. Hi, my beautiful angels. So let's talk about how much they are able to take credit on how someone can awaken. They are taking credit on what someone can do during their spiritual awakening, how they will feel entitled to basically make someone think that what they discover, the power that they discover within themselves, is not theirs. And this is all of the abuse of the modern slavery. They don't want me to tell you. You see, there's a lot of interference. I will still tell you. So the devil can send you hyenas, he can send you all of those energies. But if you have a mass awakening, if you detach of a matrix, you're no longer in a synthetic world. You are now connected to the source. You get your own information. You get your own energy. And there's some kids that are born on this planet. They are not able to get their energy from the source, from this planet. So the only way to take their energy is from siphoning and harvesting other human beings. And this is how and why we see kids being tortured, like what happened to me when I was a kid. I was receiving electroshock on my legs. I was screaming in pain. And they are profiting, I mean, not just in a financial way, but they're also gaining some type of energy once people are in lower vibrational energy. And so today, we are doing the video description of Amelia's personal testimony. This is about the most dangerous crime against humanity. When people pretend to help you while working against you at the same time. This is manipulation at a level where control is hidden behind protection, where observation is normalized, and where abuse is disguised as concern. We are living in a time of mass awakening. More people are starting to question, to detach, to reconnect with themselves. And when that happens, everything changes. Because once you stop pretending and once you stop depending on people who don't think like you, once you stop seeking validation outside of yourself, you become harder to control. This video is a testimony, a documentation, an exposure of patterns, manipulation, silent participation, people benefiting from confusion and silence. You see right now, they don't want me to tell you that. There's a lot of, I would say probably 3, 4, 5, at least 5 activations, which means individuals that are being paid to slow me down so that I'm not able to tell you this. But I will still tell you because I'm no longer in this matrix, and the price that I had to pay for that is very high. And it comes with a lot of torture, a lot of jealousy, a lot of targeting. But as much as it can be a curse, it's also one of the biggest gifts that I've received from my life. And I've just watched like Catwoman and Spider-Man in the same day, and I don't think it's a coincidence. I'm kind of in that, time of the week, like crime scene happening down there. So I'm trying to be strong right now today. I probably ate all of the food that I had in my fridge, and I was like, let's do it. I was in my shower. A little tip for you to get out and stop procrastinating is to have a cold shower. Like, I go to the warmest, hottest water, and then I turn that to the coldest, and then I'm like a new person. That's a big tip of mine, to wake up and to remove this energy that is not wanting you to move forward. You see, again, an interception. But remember what I told you. They are maybe removing your wings at the moment, because you could probably fly away very high. But at least now you're able to expose the system and do something good for the world, and then answer prayers. Oh, they didn't want me to tell you that one too. You're here to answer prayers. Can you imagine all of your ancestor, parents, grandfather who prayed to understand what was happening? And now you do have the information. I'm grateful every day just for that. And I'm not taking it for granted. And once they are wandering, like all of the hyenas around me right now, I see all of them. I can localize them in space. That's one of the biggest gifts that I've received from God. Because if you don't have clarity, if you don't see where those hyenas are located in your space, it is going to be hard for you to just walk, or to not be in auto-sabotage, or to not have anxiety or stress. So this is also what I'm doing on my platform with the Army of Angels, the Army of Angels United, Amelia One for All, Survival Yoga with Amelia. I'm here to bring awareness so people don't fall into their snares, so that they're not being pushed by the same one who are sitting on your energy like oppressive forces, so that you don't fly away. And I'm pretty sure that in other life, we were able to fly. And then by them sitting on us, enslaving us, this is how they're able to keep this system of pyramidal scheme of a synthetic false world, because there's a lot of different world that exists. And I would say I see two: the organic world, where we are born from, and the synthetic world that was here, made from greedy people who push technology way too far, and now they are kind of destroying the water, our lands, the forest, and humanity, or at least they're trying to, but humanity will never be able to be replaced or to be imitated, because it's two different things. It's a completely different thing. Technology will always be an imitation of what we are. And anyways, let's come back to what I wanted to tell you. You are not your thoughts. You are not your body. You are not what you were told that you were. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And disclaimer, this reflects my personal experiences, my observations, my perspective, share for awareness and documentation purposes. Hashtag mass awakening, hashtag speak up, hashtag truth exposure, hashtag consciousness, hashtag Amelia Spiritual Show. And so what I wanted to tell you, I was singing some karaoke before I fall asleep yesterday, and I was just thinking about the targeting that I've got since my awakening, since I detached of satanic lives. And every day I'm like, thank God, now I can fly away like a bird. I just saw a bird flying in front of me. And even if I'm in paradise and all of the texts, I feel it's such a good example. And I've said that before, but I will tell you again. All of the texts we have seen since we're kids of how angels are being targeted from hell. So don't worry if your paradise feel like hell, because they don't want you to know that you're free. They don't want you to know how powerful you are with your little powers that you may have. This is the goal of all of this financing, pyramidal scheme of prostitution, of electronic torture. of modern day slavery. They want you to think that it's normal that you're being observed like that. It's not. They have transformed your life into a TV reality show. They have now transformed you into something that they can monetize from. And this is what we're breaking free of. And so I was reminding myself when I started to sing to camouflage the V2K skull technology that was all around me, basically a bunch of operators paid terrorists that are being hired. And if I can just tell you very quick, if you wonder how those individuals end up in those situations of becoming a gang stalker, well, first of all, what I was hearing is like, it's like if they have a big farm and then they're able to pay their little gang stalkers, and those individuals, they act like pimps. And this is why I compare this to a prostitution ring of electronic torture, modern slavery, because it's the same concept, the same way of operating as a prostitution ring. But this time, instead of having a pimp who exploit a woman or a man sexually and get money from it in person or remotely, now we'll have the pimp that will be actually an operator, because this is an operation, a complot, a cover-up, and they will hire not prostitute this time, they will hire and target a virgin to target and to monetize. Let's say on the dark web, if someone would want to have someone with specific gift, or would want to have a pretty girl, or would want to have someone highly intelligent, or someone that they've seen before, that because they can see also what you will be in your future. And like in the Matrix, there's the men in black that will try their best to block you so that you don't go in your highest timeline. But once you connect yourself to yourself, you connect yourself to a piece of God. And that's when it's harder for them to block all of your blessings, because even if they take you on the left to block you from what's coming, there's different ways that you can go to your main event that is actually connected with God, your highest timeline. We can call it also fate, that will never be able to be taken from you, never. So there's different ways that you can go there. That's why I'm not really stressed, because I just take myself into action. And obviously, if you procrastinate and you believe that this will come from the sky, let's say, this is also what I've seen from my parents, unfortunately, and I have been learning a lot from other people. And so the manipulation can go like that too. Don't worry, that person will come to you like at this time. Don't worry, you're gonna win the lottery so that, you know, you don't need to work or you don't need to worry about nothing. So those oppressive forces, they can go through psychic people that could tell you messages that are not here for your highest good. That's why it's not always good to see those people that can tell you the future, because they're not always operating from good energy and for your highest good. And that's when I don't want to vent myself, but I do have a big judgment. I have a big like detector around me, movement detector. I'm able to localize in the space all of the energy. I know, and I can see intentions behind it. So I have visions of the future, yes, but I'm also able to see energy and specific messages sometimes. Oh, they're trying to block what I'm going to say, but I'm going to still tell you. So how it works, it's, in my case at least, I don't always receive messages. It comes to me. And so that's why I think sometimes they want to get money. So they want to tell you something, but they just make up something that is false, because you got to be open for it too. And for me, I will never say something that is coming from oppressive forces or from reptilian hunters, because I'm able to see, even if they camouflage their intentions with beautiful words, I will always see it. That's why I'm never falling. I never fall, because I'm able to see those invisible bullets before it happens. And that's why I say also that being awakened comes with a big gift, but it's also a curse, because they are so perverted and so greedy that it's becoming like a challenge to take you down or to stop you from moving forward. Like, in a game, it's like a game for them. As you want to move forward, as you are motivated, as you have more consciousness, more knowledge, more life lessons, as you don't get discouraged and you keep moving forward, even if the devil took you in some addiction, he trapped you there, he tried to discourage every day, he sent you electroshocks, he targeted you, he hacked your devices, he slowed down your internet connection, he targeted your entire job that was actually an expertise of yours, and now you are being slowed down in life. If you never stop, and this is, I'm going to come back to what I wanted to say, you got to be careful, because yes, God do exist. There's miracles that can happen at any moment, but you have to be really patient, and also to not be patient. I'm going to take the words of Shelby. She's amazing, the one that I have been starting the school with for the i-ticket selling. Now I'm a lot more passionate about sales, and I'm a lot more skilled because of our school. I love her so much. And she says that if someone tell you you have time in life, I believe that it's not good intention. You have time, yes, but you always have to be in the middle, to not stress you too much, to not go anywhere just to go fast, like in the rat race. But you also have to know that life goes super fast and you cannot procrastinate too much. And if you are connected to God, and that you don't take action, you don't take risk, you don't go out there and seize the opportunities that God sent to you. Let's say God sends you some lemons. You could make a lemonade out of it, or you could just wait that they perish and that they're no longer good to be eaten. So this is how I see life. And obviously there's a certain period of life where it's okay to rest. It's okay to take your time. I always say, sometimes you walk, sometimes you jog, sometimes you sprint, and you go at your own pace. But it's important to go to always move. Basically, to always move, but it doesn't have to always be a sprint every day. As long as you move a little bit every day. It can be a walk sometimes, a little jog sometimes, a little sprint. You go at your own pace. So what I wanted to say is very important. When it comes to love, when it comes to money, when it comes to so many things, what I've learned from my parents or other people, how much they were able to manipulate them so that they stay in their house and that they never like find someone and they stay alone, let's say. Oh, that person will come magically appear in front of you. You know, you gotta create those opportunities. You gotta go out there. If you just wait that it comes, even if you pray every day and you don't go seize those opportunities, so you gotta do a little bit of everything. I really hope that those words have been able to help you. And what I wanted to say also is that, to be honest, when I started to sing, to camouflage, and if you're a targeted individual, let me know in the comment section. If you're coming from the Army of Angels United or the Army of Angels or La Vision de Amelia on my Instagram, let me know in the comment section. But what has helped me a lot is to do karaoke, even if it's not perfect, because singing is really a way to connect to God, to your emotion, to your heart. And sometimes it's so funny because I see those oppressive forces who takes life so seriously, and I call them the drama queen because I'm able to deactivate the stress. as they operate like snakes, reptilian hunters. This is what can create the stress and anxiety. And I'm able to see them like so good. And that's the gift that I gave to myself, and also that God gave to me, obviously. But I just think that we are one, we're together when I say that, because we all have a piece of God inside of them. We all have the ability to connect to Him. We're all coming from nature, from the universe. We're just like trees. We're all connected, you know? We're going back to the earth, and we, you know, I believe in the reincarnation too. We're energies. We're not our body. We're not our thoughts. And this is what happens when you do an awakening also. So I was saying a lot to deactivate these scenarios, these big groups of individuals who speak with speakers on top of my head, who shit on my head. And thankfully, I became the magician. I've learned how to transmute energy, transmute dirt into magic also. This is very important. And this is actually what I'm teaching you to do in Amelia's Secret Paradise, where I offer one-on-one session, where I offer you all of my tips of how I survive a human trafficking, a prostitution ring of electronic torture, modern slavery, the last 6 years since my mass awakening of 2020. And this has been a huge, huge inner work. And just like money is very important, this part is also very, very important. So you don't crawl into stress, anxiety, into drugs, into alcohol. And this is all things that I don't need. I am free of any addictions, even I would say emotional dependency. Any dependence that you can think about, I do not have them. And yes, I had addictions in the past, like sex, emotional addictions. Also, I was more controlled by my greed, ego. I had an ego debt. And you know, it's beautiful to do this, but and also to heal and to understand why they're doing this to me. Why does mean people doing that? Why? Once you go through all of the why, once you go through your healing, it's very important to do it. You're purging also of your childhood traumas. Once this part is done, and some people, they start with something else. Well, I did start with other things too. But anyways, now I'm very happy that this part is done. And now I'm focusing more on the money aspect. And this is what you have to understand. Sometimes you need to press pause and leave the money a little bit on the side to do this inner work, and then come back to your work, your business after. So that you have a chance to reconnect to your true self. And this is exactly what I'm here to do, is to reconnect you to your true self. You can let me know in the comment section if you are interested to have a one-on-one session. I have the Elite Mindset Reprogrammation. I have a lot of things that I am offering for you. Also, my book, A Little Girl Behind the Yellow Bus, that will be available eventually. Disclaimer, I've been going back in time. I have been victim of glitches. I've had my phone hacked. I've lost all of the things I've written on my phone. I know this book, I've been speaking about it for a long time, but I think it's just gonna be better. You know, sometimes once you wait, it just gets better. And yeah, so that book will come eventually. Oh, it's so funny because seriously, like, the Matrix doesn't want me to get this book out. And doesn't want me to be, I think they would just want me to be vegetables, and this is actually what I'm exposing to. But anyways, so yeah, I think this is, oh yeah, I wanted to finish and say that I feel like I'm like in Cinderella, you know, the story where, and this is very important, I will finish with that today for today's videos. Maybe some people can recognize themselves. When someone goes through an awakening, they have been through their entire life. Sorry, I don't know what just happened, a little interference. They also are able to affect your tongue, so it is normal if they do it. So once you go through all of your life and that you were not aware that you were controlled by a neurological control, you thought you were in that synthetic world all of your life, watching television, being brainwashed to think that you're not good enough, that, you know, those celebrities are like the most perfect people in the world. And now we have seen them more authentic, showing themselves more natural, without makeup, without filter, without this. And I swear this is a new thing. Like maybe 5 years. 5 years ago, I was still thinking that a celebrity was like something else. Like they were maybe made out of plastic or something. And now they're starting all to show us all around the world that we're all in the same boat. Even the most prettiest girl can get cheated on. And so because of those stories online, we're able to now be more confident and to deactivate more the snakes and oppressive forces that used to make us feel ashamed to exist, make us think that we didn't do enough or that we're not good enough. And now if you think about, let's say, all of the entrepreneurs who share their stories on how many times they failed in their life, or how many attempts that they did, or how many times that they had to start over before being successful. So once we think about all of the stories that have been shared by successful people, or by people sharing their stories, can you imagine how powerful it is? And so when people say that nothing changes, it is false. The biggest shift of awakening that ever happened in the story of time is there for a reason, so that people can raise into enlightenment and authenticity and stop pretending that everything is perfect. Once everyone stops pretending that nothing exists, that it doesn't exist, and then they start speaking about truth, they start denouncing, they start breaking silence, they start crying on social media, this is when we will be able to know peace and stop the wars, because silence is complicity. And that you want it or not, if you stay silent and you pretend that nothing exists, or that you're not willing to speak about uncomfortable things that you may have received in your mind or from other people, if you don't denounce those suspicious things, then you are complicit, directly or indirectly, of even the wars happening in the world. Once someone detached of a matrix, of a neurological control, of satanic lives, they are no longer their thoughts, they're no longer their bodies. So Jersey Shore, the Flintstones, they're like wanting to rate you from 1 to 10. They want to come on your shoulder and like be, oh my God, you look ugly today. Just stay in your house. Oh my God, so much wrinkles on you. Oh my God, no one will love you. You're too old. Oh my God, too many people have been doing this before you. Just stay in your house. I used to be controlled like that. There was a year, 2 years of my life where I didn't want to get out of my house because I had acne. And I didn't know I was controlled by those bunch of hyenas that now I can see and just like slam and deactivate, because I'm able to see and to have clarity due to my awakening, my reprogrammation. And it's a lot bigger than we can think. There's a lot more information about everything that you could ever imagine. And this is why I'm building my website, Amelia's Secret Paradise, so that you can have everything that you need to know about everything. Because I believe I became an expert in that the last 6 years of my life, after being targeted in the beauty salon where I used to work and make women prettier, my old business called A Beauty Vision. So we're going from making women prettier in a beauty salon, A Beauty Vision, my first baby that I started at 22 years old, to going many years later into creating Amelia Won't Fall, the Army of Angels United, um, exposing a prostitution ring of electronic torture. I don't know how I went from this to that, but anyways, so once you awaken and that you have been plugged on your television, that you have been distracted, that you didn't know what the world was all about, you didn't know about this synthetic world or this non-organic technology that has been pushing people to suicide, to have strokes, heart attacks, orchestrated accident, you didn't know all of that. Obviously, how could you? How could you? So now that you're more aware, you're like, oh my God, I was never scared. It was always a manipulation of my emotions. Oh my God, I was not tired to not to go to not so that is why I was canceling my date. I was just discouraged and controlled by those satanic lives because they wanted me isolated. Oh my God. And so once you take your power back, and once you do this inner work and you reconnect to God, to this piece of inside of you, your soul, your heart, this organic world, and no longer this synthetic world, you come back to the source, to you, to your inner child, and you travel in time and in space to connect to this pure energy that you are always first, before technology, before family, friends, and people affected you, wanted to tell you who you should be. So once you awaken, you start singing, you start drawing, you start doing something different that you never tried before. This matrix, oppressive forces, they're going to start laughing at you. They're going to start taking credit on what you can do. They're going to start feeling entitled to control your life like it was their life. You know why? They have an immersive experience, connecting themselves to you, logging into you, like it was normal to watch you like a TV reality show, and it's not. And once you go through all of the years of study, and once you go through Amelia's Secret Paradise, obviously, one-on-one session, my book, everything that I have to offer, you will understand that everything that I went through, I could never have learned this in school. You learn this with time, with experience, by crying, by reprogramming, by purging, by screaming, by, it's a process. Only time can give you this. Only you can give this to yourself. And once you give this gift to yourself, this was the best gift I ever gave to myself. And this is what I want to give you. I want to give you this gift in Amelia's Secret Paradise also. Once you give this gift to yourself, and once you face yourself in an honest way, and you forgive yourself and you forgive others, you're able to raise your vibrational energy. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen today. It doesn't happen if it doesn't matter if it doesn't happen right away. Because where you want to go in life, you will look back and it will not matter how long it took you to get there. Let them slow you down. Let them do all of their little complot. Let them be jealous. Let them steal from you. And continue to move forward. I promise you. If you never give up, you will be not only where you wanted to be. On your way up, you will also change the world. You will also build an empire and bring peace into this world by being your authentic self. So I think I have been in a Cinderella story, to be honest, where they took credit on what I could do when I took back my power in 2020. Can you imagine that I was starting to sing and they were like, that's not her voice. Let her think whatever she wants. That's not her drawing this. Let her think whatever she wants. The manipulation of those pervert, narcissistic people is to another level. And that's also what I want to teach you, to go and master energy. But not just master energy, not just reconnect to your true self, not to just reconnect and travel in time and space to connect back to your inner child. I also want to teach you in Amelia's Secret Paradise how to understand the master manipulation of those reptilian hunters that have been tuning into your thoughts. They have been surveilling you your entire life, because they have been enslaved in a farm, in a prostitution ring of electronic torture, in a modern slavery. They have been raised in cult. They have been forced by their own parents to be monsters. And they have been trained like soldiers to think that their life didn't matter. To think that to live your life, to have memories is useless. And that's how they can make them in a state of jealousy. That's how they can bring them in a state of being terrorists, or activate people into competition and to, disconnect people from who they are and create all of this manipulation and this, master manipulation that we see in society, in this world, through chaos, divisions, through, playing with people's egos. And, I can tell you so much, but I will stop here for today. Hopefully it was helpful for you. I love you so, so much. And I know it's so difficult to live in this world. I'm showing up like this in front of the camera, but I paid the price of the last 5 years being targeted in inhuman ways, with electroshocks, hacking, playing with my internet connection. It's still happening every day, and I'm staying very strong. I'm in the process of building evidence, documentation, going in court eventually, and also having a scan, being monitored by a neurologist, also that we will be able to see all of the the nanotechnology and the microchips and everything. And more than that, we will be able to see the frequencies that it emits from those ships and see which corporation have been financing all of that. Because this is probably a billion, trillions of dollar operation. How they monetize and enslave families and people to keep them in poverty. And you can be sure that now I know exactly how they can keep people in poverty. They're using people, groups of individuals, like I said before, into a form. Like, they enslave them, they make them think that their life is useless. They will use those group of people that are enslaved from a young age, most of the time. They will activate those groups of individuals to target them against one family, one people, and basically that's how they create the chaos in the world. That's how they are able to monetize and make money out of people basically coming against one another. Or I could say a group of individuals targeted by another group of people. They create those targeting, but now it's going against them, because we used to be ashamed, we used to not speak, we used to protect them by saying that it doesn't exist. But now we realize by saying it doesn't exist, that's how the wars continue to happen. And if we want to stop the wars and to know peace, we gotta speak about uncomfortable things. We gotta denounce. We gotta speak up. And those who are behind those orchestrations, activations, directed weapon energy, and all of the manipulation, these are the people that will be accountable and also probably accused of one of the biggest crime against humanity. That is no doubt. But also those who protected those individuals. If you're protecting someone and you stay silent because you're scared, there's no excuse. It's like if someone, basically, that someone is threatening someone every day of their life, and that they're targeting that person, and that person is saying publicly that she's being targeted, and that you're not taking action, and you let this happen, you will also be complicit and accused of the same things that that person who started everything in the first place, that started those sick games of electronic torture and modern slavery and collective abuse. And at this point, too many people have denounced. There's no doubt. There's no more hide and seek. And if you don't denounce, you will be accused of complicity of the worst crimes against humanity. This is real life. I was told that my spiritual gift, that my story will be used to help law enforcement that are not corrupted into dismantling a human trafficking and criminal organizations during investigation. And this is actually what's happening today. This is serious. And we are coming to answer prayers of kids who have been kidnapped, of our ancestors who have passed away from suicides, strokes, heart attacks, and a lot more. Of what doctors were not able to comprehend or to explain. We're bringing answers and solutions. And if nothing happens, we will know the level of corruption. We will know the amount of corruption and individuals who accept money and who close. You see, they didn't want me to tell you this, but I will tell you. The amount of people who close their eyes on a genocide, on a human trafficking, on a prostitution ring of electronic torture. If nothing happened, we will know that too many people got corrupted and that are now protecting their money and that are now staying silent in the name of money. So if you want to know more information about what I've been speaking a lot more today, you can follow the Army of Angels United on TikTok and Instagram. I also have a GoFundMe if you want to support. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. I love you so, so much. And we're all coming together, one for all for one. Peace and love, everyone.